Imagine you went to Best Buy, bought a new desktop computer and monitor, went home, set it up, then threw away the monitor. Doesn't make much sense, does it? If you wouldn't do this with electronics, why do it with food?
On average, 25% of food is wasted. In total, $13 billion worth of food is wasted every year in Canada alone. With that money, you could pay off your tuition, then your kids' tuition, then your grandkids' tuition, then 216,667 more generations of tuition.
So how is this food wasted? Well, many people buy food and never end up eating it. That accounts for about 47% of wasted food in Canada. Another 20% is wasted during food manufacturing or processing.
10% is wasted by retailers like grocery stores or food distribution companies. This is because grocery stores like to overstock on purpose as a marketing tactic. It is proven that if the consumer sees more of a product, they're more willing to buy it. For example, if you went to the grocery store and saw a single apple on the shelf, you probably wouldn't buy it, whereas if there was a large pile of apples neatly stacked together, you would.
10% is thrown away in farms before the produce is even sent to a manufacturer or retailer. A lot of produce is wasted by farms because the aesthetic standards set by distribution companies are unnecessarily high. This is a picture of what is considered to be a perfect peach. This is a seemingly good peach, but to the average distributor it does not meet the standards to sell, so it's thrown away.
9% is wasted by hotels and restaurants because people tend to overorder and end up throwing away what they can't finish. The remaining 4% is wasted from damage during transportation.
Now you may ask, who cares? Doesn't produce just decompose over time? Yes. However, most organic waste in landfills produce not only carbon dioxide, but also methane, which is a very potent greenhouse gas, contributing to global warming.
Imagine how much energy, land, and water is used to produce crops. Now imagine how many resources are wasted going into producing food that is never eaten. Here are some facts to consider when measuring the environmental impact of food waste. About 3.3 billion tons of CO2 is produced annually by food that is not eaten. This is all the CO2 you would breathe out if you lived 169,000 lifetimes.
Food we don't consume uses 2.5 times 10 to the power 14 liters of water each year. That's the volume of about 26 million DP libraries.
14 million square kilometers of land globally is used to produce food we don't eat. That's bigger than all of Canada.
When that much land is used for crops, many of which being staple groceries, biodiversity decreases, leading to extinction.
Now you may think, this all sounds terrible. What can I do to help?
There are many simple things that can be done to decrease food waste. Aside from the obvious buy what you can eat advice, here are some tips to waste less. Buy ugly fruits and vegetables. They're still good to consume, and it's what's on the inside that counts.
Expiry dates are not a strict deadline for when to consume food. It is often a measure of peak freshness, so food can be consumed after the date as well.
Fruits that turn soft can be made into smoothies. Vegetables that start to wilt can be put into soup or smoothies.
If all else fails, compost the leftovers you don't want to eat, so they can be made into rich, fertile soil that can be used for new plants.
Although it's not realistic to suddenly expect everyone to stop wasting food, even the smallest steps make a difference. Finish all of your takeout no matter how greasy it is. Eat the bagel from Tim Hortons no matter how dry it may be. And drink your milk even though it says best before yesterday.
Created using Powtoon.